So next question I have from Alina.
Hey,
Alina,
Rob.
hey. So
Yeah, so I had a couple of questions. I think I'm just going to focus on two.
yeah.
One was, I don't know if anyone can relate, but I sometimes was put in place of an executionist product manager. So I was doing a really good job and like everyone was happy with the outcome, but I was kind of struggling to progress upwards and kind of like be brought more into the strategic decision making wide company meetings.
Oh,
So I was wondering if you had ever faced something similar and if you had any advice on that. And then the second would be just like for a product manager who's changing careers and moving into a company or an industry that they never dealt with before.
mm.
If you had any advice of like, how would you structure the first month at this company?
Okay. Mm, mm. I'd say that I can talk about the second part earlier, that how do you get into a new company and industry, and I can talk about uh, uh, what mistakes I have done. Right. I think when you get into a company, what is very important is understand the context of the company and the culture, because as a product manager, you're in a very strategic role where your job is to figure out what are the products you want to build so to move the company forward. So if you don't understand the context the company is operating in, that's going to be a big challenge. And context means that at least understanding the broad direction of the company, right? Understanding its priorities, understanding how the teams and fit together. I think the second thing is understanding the culture of the company and what it cares about, how it operates, how how performances are measured, right? And how people communicate with each other. Uh, My biggest mistake has always been I try to get my hands dirty and get into the product from day one. And now when I onboard people, I make it a point to tell them do not talk about products on your first month or so. Focus all your time in understanding the context of the company, understanding just your product area, but how does your product area fit into the context, and understanding the culture before you actually get into roadmaps and goaling. And I think uh, uh, that had been one mistakes I've made in my life, but I'm trying to remedy that out. Does that answer your second question, Alina?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I think in terms of execution versus strategic thing, right? I think everybody, all of us have fallen into the trap of where at point of time we seem to be just executing, right? I think there is one big thing which we can all do as product managers to take it to the next level. We are all executing against a particular problem, right? And we're all executing so that we're trying to solve the problem. As product managers, our job is to ensure that we're solving the right problems. And that is actually the biggest lever you have to get into strategic company decisions and strategic discussions, where you're able to, if you're able to show that you're not solving the right problem, or there is a better way of solving this problem, right? And that's the point you can actually get into strategic decisions and discussions in the room. Yeah. There's obviously the other way where you can talk to your manager and say, "Hi, I want to be included in strategy," but that may or may not work out for you. But if for your own product, you are very clear that you feel that the current direction is not right or the current problems are not right, I think articulating them out, raising that, that's the best way you can actually show you're a strategic product manager. Alina, any follow-up questions?
Maybe if we just go a layer deeper, right? Because like even if let's say you are pointing out, potential gaps into the thinking process, right? There still feels like sometimes some product managers are able to be either listened to or being pushed forward easier than the rest of us. I don't know if you had anything to add upon that. If not, I'm also very happy with the answer you provided earlier.
I think the only thing I want to add that uh, is, uh, is data speaks, right? So it depends upon the strength of your case. Now, at point of times, you will not have data, and that's where your reputation as a product manager needs to augment some of the missing data. If you have enough data, people will listen to you. If you don't have enough data, that's where you need to lean on your reputation.
Perfect. Thank you.
So the next question I have is from Neeraj. So Neeraj, you want to unmute yourself? Hmm. Oh. Neeraj, are you there on the call? Cool. So uh, maybe I can quickly take Neeraj's question. Neeraj's question is, how does a PM work in a stable product which has been around for a long time? I think one of the, for example, banking or Facebook. So for me, I think one of the biggest myths are that there are stable products, right? Because at the end of the day, it goes back to that you're trying to solve customer problems, right? And then you're trying to find out ways you can solve the problem better. So if if you think the customer problem is solved, that's when a product is really stable and it's solved for every segment of customer and there are no customer pain points. I think today I have not at least seen any product in my life where all the customer pain points or problems are solved completely. So i- and hence no product can be called as truly stable or stagnant. um, uh, your product might become stagnant because you're not innovating enough or you're not thinking of ways of solving the problem better. But most customer problems, if you define this very broadly, will exist. Hmm. I think the next question I have is from Anurag. Anurag, are you there on the call?
Yes, Sugata, thanks for the call.
Hmm.
My question is, how do you address the go-to-market questions, go-to-market strategy, and uh, is it only you, or do you have to liaison with PMMs and other people
Hmm.
as well?
So I think just to be clear and so that everybody is on the same page, go to market is like how do you go to market so that you get adoption, right? And a typical way, at least to me, I break it down into one is who is the customer segments we're going after, right? Two is what is the value proposition, right? So people will buy the product. And three is what are the channels we want to use to acquire and engage with customer, right? To me, these are the three aspects which matter for go to market. And it depends upon company to company. Some might have PMM, product marketing managers. Some may not have product marketing managers, right? Some might have sales teams. Some products may not have sales teams, but may have marketing teams. I think it's as a product manager, you're the one who's trying to talk about the value proposition, but it's always better to use an expert who understands the market enough to know whether the value proposition will actually land or people will understand it or not. It's also important to have somebody who can validate that the customer segments you're picking up is correct. Third is channels, whether it's a marketing channel or sales channel. Again, some companies might have coordinators who help you do that. Some companies you might need to do it yourself. But all of it cannot be done in isolation. And I think it's very important that go to market is done as a group and never as individuals. So, as a group, it's about getting the right people together to try to answer to all these questions. Anurag, did I answer you or was I too broad?
But I think that was good. Yeah, that was good. Thanks.